Hello everybody, this is Paul Burke down at Park Mazda in Akron. Today I'm here to show you how to navigate to an address while you're driving. A question that seems to come up a lot when we're showing people cars is, hey, while I'm on the road and if I want to go someplace, sometimes I might have to pull over to type in an address so that I can navigate to where I'm going. But I'm going to give you a quick demonstration today to show you how to do this while you're on the road. And we're just going to take a real quick drive, do it in a 2016 Mazda CX-5. This is a touring model. It's the most popular model of this vehicle we have. It has a great lease deal on it this month. And this color is called Blue Reflex. It's got heated seats in it, navigation, and a lot of other extra equipment in it stuff. So we're going to hop in now and take it on a drive. And we're ready to get started to do that now. So we're going to move in the car. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust my seat, and while I'm doing that, I always like to mention to people when we go on a test drive that regardless of what they may think, the dirt, plastic, and stickers that you see on these cars when you come down to check them out, they do not come with the cars. But for a small fee, we're able to make arrangements for them to come with the cars. No, I'm just joking about that. But this is our navigation system on a Mazda. So as you can see where we're sitting right now, it's kind of showing us that we're facing Arlington Road right in front of the dealership. And so what I'm going to do once we get out on the road is I am going to ask it to navigate back to the dealership, and I'm going to show everybody how to do that. So off and away we go. As you may or may not be able to see, it is a beautiful day up here today in Akron. It's a bit cold, but man, it sure is pretty outside. Okay, so we're about to make a right-hand turn onto Arlington Road. And then at the traffic light, first traffic light we're going to approach, we're going to make a left onto Moore Road. And when we get onto Moore Road, I'm going to ask the car to drive us back to the dealership. One thing I always like to point out about asking the car to do things using the speech button on the steering wheel is that you really will have very little trouble with this system as long as you ask or give a command after the car beeps. So after you click the button, after a split second or so, there'll be a beep, and then after you hear that, give it a command, and then it'll be ready to listen to what you're asking for it to do. So now that we're on Moore Road, I'm going to go ahead and ask it to navigate back to the dealership.
Say a command.
Drive to an address.
Say the full address, including number, street, city, and state.
3363 South Arlington Road, Akron, Ohio.
One match found. To accept this address, say line 1. You can also say, try again, or say, step-by-step address entry.
1.
To begin navigation, say, start.
Start.
Navigating to selected address.
Okay, so what the car did is it let me ask it what address I wanted to go to. As you can see, I was able to completely do that while I'm driving. Didn't have to pull over and take a second. The guidance is now giving me directions on where I should go to get back. So Cottage Grove is coming up here at this four-way stop. We're going to make a left here like the navigation instructed us to do, and start heading back to Park Mazda.
Turn left in 0.4 miles.
Now, another question that comes up from time to time about the voice guidance part of the navigation, is that people will ask me pretty often, is it possible to change the volume? And it is possible to do that. And the way that you do it is you dial over to the navigation settings. You can do this while you're driving also.
Take the next left onto Ohio 619 East Turkey Foot Lake Road.
I can select guidance settings, and then one of the only things it'll let me do while I'm on the road actually doing it is change the guidance volume. So for our purposes today, I'm just going to leave the guidance volume at the level that it's at now. But another thing that you can do while you're driving is, actually I'm not sure if you can do this while you're driving. You can have the car tell you turn by turn directions. So right now, for example, we are pretty close to getting back, so there's not a lot of them, but you would be able to read where you're going to do what before you get to certain points, so that way you'll know what to expect as you're approaching a place where you got to make a turn or jump off the interstate or whatever. So I always like to point those things out. Also, just to mention a couple other things about the CX-5 while we're heading back to the dealership, and these are just questions that people ask me pretty often about the Mazda brand when they're in shopping for a Mazda, is there's a badge on the back of a Mazda. If you have a Mazda, you'll know what it is. If you've seen them out on the road and you saw this badge, I'm sure you may have wondered what it is, but it's called SkyActiv Technology. And so SkyActiv Technology is a philosophy, and that philosophy with Mazda means that you'll have performance and fuel economy in one vehicle. So the thing about a Mazda is they're fun to drive. Mazda also wanted to be amongst the industry's best in terms of fuel economy with every model in their lineup, but they also didn't want to be the best in fuel economy and then have a car that just basically isn't any fun to drive either. So they came up with this philosophy called SkyActiv. It just means performance and fuel economy in one package in a vehicle. And then there are technologies obviously that help us accomplish that goal, but if you want to know more about those, I recommend, hey, just come on in. We'll show you what all those technologies are and how they work, and just know for now that it's performance and fuel economy in one car. So we have now successfully guided ourselves back to the dealership. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Also want to ask everybody, if you like this video, if you can like Park Auto Group on Facebook and share it, that'd be great. And lastly, before I head out, just want to send a shout out to one of our really good clients, Morgan Massengale. Morgan, thank you for all your support. Thank you for sharing us on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you next time you're in for a test drive. Thanks, guys. Peace out.